Hi, guys. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to come, and I'm going to fix my hair. So welcome. Just going to put it behind my ear so I don't mess with it. Can you hear me, Miranda? Hi. Hi, Dwight. Hi, Oscar. Hi, Allegra. Hi, Maylene. Guys, this is totally inspired by Maylene, by the way. Miss Calls Campers. You all probably know her, but she's amazing. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Pink Lemonade. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you. I'm blown away right now. Okay, so let's talk about my hair for a second while all of you are coming on. Hi. Okay. Oh, Maddie. Hi. Okay. So for those of you that watch my channel, I've been trying Formulate, and this is my, yes, Maylene, it's Formulate. And this is my 4th formula, okay? They are trying so hard to fix my hair for me. It usually flips to this side, okay? I just washed it and I blow dry it, but like, oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. It's just like so greasy on the top still. And this is like the 4th time they're trying to fix it. And yes, Maylene, you can be extremely annoying. That's fine. I'm just glad that you're here. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it like that because that's the way it normally goes. But like this random poof and fall is just obnoxious. So, hi. For those of you that are new here, my name is Brianna, and I am a third grade teacher in North Carolina. So welcome, everybody. There's so many of you. Oh, hey, Sheridan. Let me see who else is here. Maylene said, YouTube told me I'm sending too many and I need to take a break. No, you are sending the right amount. It's fine. Okay. So, Miranda actually asked me a question here. She said, what's your favorite grade to teach? And one of my students is in here and she's not going to be happy about this, but I really love 3rd grade. 4th grade curriculum, for those of you that don't know, I taught 4th grade, and see, I can't do with this. You guys probably can't see the quality that great, but like, it just doesn't look cute. I need a clip, but this is all the stuff that I usually cut out of my videos that you guys don't usually see. So I apologize. But really, like, freshly washed hair should not be this difficult to work with. All right, we're just going to go with that. Okay. So anyway, I taught 4th grade for 2 years, science, social studies, and math. And this is my first year teaching 3rd. And 4th grade curriculum is hard. Like, actually, I love the science and social studies curriculum. I did so much fun stuff with that. But math is just hard. And it's one of those things where there are certain ways that you have to teach the kids, and you can't do a lot with manipulatives and things. And I just love hands-on stuff. So it wasn't my favorite. I was always sitting at the front of the room with a piece of paper saying, here's how you have to do it. Now go do it. And I did not enjoy that. I want kids to explore. I want them to see all different ways. I want them to use as many manipulatives as they can. So 3rd grade is just, math at least is better for that. Reading's interesting because it's my first year teaching reading and I'm learning as I go along. I feel like I'm kind of doing more test taking strategies than anything, which is so frustrating, but I think it's a little too bright in here. Let me just pull my blinds down. I'm sitting in front of my window. Okay. I just love teaching all subjects. So 3rd grade is not departmentalized. So I do get to teach everything, and I have the same 22 students all day. And I feel like that's better to build relationships, and it just makes me happy. So I hope that answers your question, Miranda. Those are also the only grades I've ever taught. I don't think I will ever go higher than 4th because I cannot deal with the attitudes. I cannot. Oh, hi, Tina. You're all the way from Germany. That's awesome. I'm actually German. So represent over here. Yes, Allegra, I do teach all of the subjects now. So my life is good. And Tina, I just said I have 22 students, and it's also been very different because 4th grade, I was the smallest class. So I kept getting all the new students because at my school, at least, let me know if this is the same at yours. But at my school, when new students come, the class with the lowest number of kids gets the new student, no matter if you just got a new one. So like I was always the lowest number, and I kept getting the new kids. And so that was crazy. This year I lost 2 because they were twins, and they obviously left together. And then I gained 1 after that. And my class, this has been my most like stagnant, I think that's the right word, class I've had. Dwight, I have not paused you. I'm sorry if you're having issues. Israel says, would you ever teach lower elementary? Okay. Well, my original job when I applied at the school that I teach at, I thought I was going to get a 2nd grade position. Okay, see, look at this craziness. I thought I was going to get a 2nd grade position, and so I was prepared for that. Everybody always says that 2nd grade is the absolute best grade to teach because they are independent enough, but they still are like sweet and innocent and love you, and it's not tested. So I could someday see myself doing that. And then every time I walk through the kindergarten hallway and they're doing like all the fun things, like they have this big Polar Express day and they put like bulletin board paper to look like the train all the way down the hallway. It's so sweet. And so I could see myself going lower. Like that's the fun thing about teaching. It can be so different from year to year, and you have so many options. And just by changing grade levels, your whole career is just different. I'm sorry, I have allergies and I need to scratch my nose. Hi, Brianna. I love watching your videos. I'm a 4th grade teacher in New Jersey. Oh my goodness, Claudia, did you know that I'm from New Jersey? If you don't mind, like what area do you teach in? You've taught for 31 years and you're retiring at the end of this year. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That's so amazing. Like, this is why like YouTube is so crazy, because like I appreciate that you, Claudia, as a veteran teacher, are taking the time to like explore what's new out there like that. Thank you so much. Miranda asked me if I would ever teach middle school. And actually, I was watching someone's video the other day. Maybe it was you, Maylene. Did you talk about teaching creative writing for high school or something? Someone said that, and I was, yeah, yeah. And then that's the first time I thought about it. I'm like, that would be pretty cool. But I don't know. That would be like way, way off in the future, because sometimes I feel like I'm still a high schooler myself. So I'm not going to teach those kids yet because they're not kids to me. Tina said, do you have a students amount class divider kind of thing? Oh. like a certain number of students per class. I don't know if I finished my thought about how many kids I got in 4th grade, but like the way it works now that I'm in 3rd is that there's so many teachers and our classes are really even. So like I only got one new student and pretty much every other teacher had only gotten one new student. So it's been very spread out because they want to keep the numbers even between classes. Yes, I hope that answers your question, Tina. Maylene, what'd you say? I feel like I won't be in first next year and it's stressing me out. Oh, teaching 1st grade. Well, that's okay. I think you would do amazing no matter where you are, Maylene. And like, for me, so my first year, I just taught math. No. I just taught science and social studies. My second year, I taught math and science. And those were both 4th grade. This year, I'm teaching 3rd. So next year will be my first year teaching the same exact content that I taught this year. And I am so excited for it because usually this time of the year, I'm so ready for like the next year's change and what I'm adding on or what I'm doing differently. But like I'm staying in 3rd. Like I'm comfortable in 3rd. I'm happy in 3rd. And I'm excited to see how I can grow as a teacher teaching the same thing that I've already done. Now I see how I could do it better. And I'm excited to be able to do that. Allegra asked, how are you liking your classroom setup? Honestly, I know like I want to move my library to the back of my room next year. And I want to move my U-shaped small group table because I feel like my small group table is right on top of where my kids are at their seats working. And so it always interferes. And like whenever I'm working with a small group, the kids who sit right in front of me are always listening in and not focused on their work. So I'm not loving it. Claudia, South Jersey, yes. I have family in Bricktown. I love New Jersey. Most of it. Matthew, that's awesome. You should definitely be a teacher. We need good teachers out there. And Claudia, I'm from like the Princeton area. Amber, does she mean, that's my sister's name. Does she mean class size cap? Probably. In 3rd grade, I think our cap, the number of students we can have is 23. So we can't go higher than that. But 4th and 5th grade don't have a cap. So like I had 28 students in my class. And that is so ridiculous. So the thing that Betsy or whatever her name is, I don't know what her name is, but the head education lady talking about larger class sizes blows my mind and makes me so mad because that's not going to help kids at all. And it's not going to make room for collaboration because they're not even going to be able to hear each other. Mirtha, hi, I recently started teaching and I could really use some tips on how to motivate my students to read. Well, if you go back to like my classroom setup videos for this year, I tried to start book bingo. It didn't really go as planned, so I need to like revamp it for next year. But my ultimate goal was after a student finishes a book, they either conference with the teacher and answer to some questions about it so like I could see that they read it. I was never able to conference with my kids, so I ended up having them fill out different like graphic organizers and things, and I would check them, but that's been difficult to keep up with too. So it's a work in progress. But as they finish a book, and what if they turned in or if I conference with them, whatever, they had their own bingo board with different book genres. And I actually have this in my TPT store. So if you search, I don't know, PuttingFourthEffort, book bingo, it's on my Instagram. I have it for sale. And they would put a sticker on the genre that they just read. And when they get bingo, they get like a prize. My 4th grade teacher did that, and I absolutely loved it. Oh my goodness. Livy Rose. Message me on Instagram, girl. The year totally like took over my life. I will send you that Charlotte's Web book, girl. Message me on Instagram and I will get that out. I promise. Thank you for reminding me, and I'm so sorry, but I will be sending it your way. So yeah, I feel like that's a good motivator because they're working towards a goal, and then I hang them on the wall so they could see how many other books students have read, and they're like kind of in a little competition with each other. So that's my goal. What are your opinions on flexible seating, and would I try it? Actually, I've been considering it a lot lately because if you haven't seen Hello 3rd Grade's Classroom, Jess, oh my goodness, like it is amazing. And I have one of those green, like, I don't know, those like circle chairs, that like egg thing. You like sit in it and it's like a big round thing. And that's where I sit to read my read aloud to my kids. And it is so comfortable. And I'm like, I want more of these in the classroom. So eventually I could see myself going to more flexible seating, but like also I really do like desks because I feel like there's a time and place for sitting and learning in a normal setting, and then being able to spread around the room and use different flexible seating options. And Allegra, we have desks in my classroom at least. Oh my goodness, it just slid down. Matthew, I have my own classroom in my house, but no students. If you're talking about playing school, I used to do that all the time. And that's how I studied for tests. And it was my favorite. Dwight, where did you get the rainbow drawer bins in your classroom from? They're from Michael's. And don't buy them when they're not on sale. They go on sale because they're pretty expensive. And I actually haven't really used them this year at all. Thank you, Maylene. Are you cooking like HelloFresh or Home Chef? Just nod and I'll understand. We can talk telepathically. I hope you cook a nice dinner. Amber said, do you feel the relationships you build in self-contained are worth the prep of teaching all subjects? I teach 2 classes of math science right now, but relationships are difficult in class 2. Here's the thing. My team is really, really, really awesome about dividing and conquering the work. Right now, I still only plan math, science, and social studies with a few other teachers on my grade level. And then the other teachers plan reading and writing. And then we swap plans. And then obviously, like I plan my centers, I plan my small groups. But I definitely think it's worth it because you understand your students. And people always told me, I'm sorry, I need to sip some water. Shout out to Impact Driven Teaching for this awesome water bottle. I always wanted one. But anyway, people always told me, they're like, well, what about departmentalization is great because when the bad kids switch classes, they're out of your room, which first of all is so terrible to say. But I mean, I know we all have those days and we feel that way. But honestly, like my bad kids, I know how to better handle them because they're with me all day. And I could just see it now, like next year if they have to switch classes, oh gosh, it's going to be a struggle. Tina, does your school, town, state support you financially with classroom supplies throughout the year? Okay. So my school does this thing where at the end of the year for the next year, we come together as a grade level and we have some budget. I don't know how much it is, but that we order like take-home folders for our kids so they can all have the same one. We order Scholastic News so that we can get the magazines and have the online subscription. We ordered like note cards and those brass fasteners because we use those a lot for projects. So we have like a small budget from our school, and then our PTO is amazing because they give us, I think, $200 a year. And then they also, our fundraisers did so well, we got more money as well to order things for our classroom. So my school as a whole, I guess I would say, is really great about it, but also it's the only thing, it's the only thing that I've known. My nose is so itchy, guys. It's the only thing that I've known, so I'm comfortable with it, but I have like purchased a lot on my own, like too much. No, Kendall, I have not answered Instagram questions yet, but I think you asked me, I'll answer your question right now. And I think it's about student loans. Because if you didn't see, a bunch of us just did a collab on grad school, and actually Sheridan, it was her idea to do the collab. We are, or had, taught and did grad school at the same time. So if you missed that video, definitely go watch it after this. But I talked about my loans and how Sally Mae is not my favorite company. But Kendall said, how do you budget your life with such a high student loan payment? I'm worried that I'll have a student loan payment comparable, and I'm just curious. Okay, well, to be honest, I'm still learning how to budget it. I used to have a savings account, and that no longer exists because I just had to crack into that to be able to pay my loans. So that's difficult. I don't live on my own. I live with my boyfriend, so he helps with bills and stuff. We split everything. So we split like groceries. And I used to shop a lot. Like I would spend $100 every weekend buying new clothes, but I don't do that anymore. The last time I shopped was for Miami, but that's because I was going on vacation. But I've cut back a lot on buying myself things because I'm trying to figure out how to best manage my money. But I'm still figuring that out. So I don't really have an exact answer, Kendall, but like also, I don't know. It depends how high your loans are, you know? Okay, let's keep going. Kendall, if you want to talk more about that topic, message me and we can chat, girl. Chloe, I'm a freshman in high school and have wanted to be an elementary teacher for a while now. I love watching your channel to see the lifestyle of a teacher. You are really inspiring. Oh, thank you so much, Chloe. That just like made me flash back to when I was a freshman in high school. Oh boy, high school. That water just tastes so good. And it's from the sink. Tap water. Okay, let's stick to teaching. Dina, I'm going to be a substitute in New Jersey in a few weeks, and I'm so scared. Do you have any tips? Well, I only substituted like twice before I actually had my own classroom. And the one class that I substituted was the class I student taught in. And then I substituted a kindergarten class, and that was bizarre because I was helping kids peel their crayons and not what I'm used to. But really, like, if I were a substitute, like, and I went into the school so early so I could find the teacher's sub plans and look over what the plan was for the day so I could like figure it out. And if that's possible for you, like I would totally do that because being prepared, even as a teacher, like knowing what's going to happen next and being ahead of the kids is the best way to manage them. And when you're a substitute, like behavior's going to be wild, usually. Depending where you are in New Jersey, though, like some of their schools are amazing and some of their schools are a little scary. So that depends. But also, like, if you run out of things to do, you can always find a book and start reading to the kids. Usually, the kids love that. We're reading The Wild Robot Escapes because we just finished The Wild Robot. So those of you that sent me that from my Amazon wish list, thank you, because I've never seen my kids so engaged in their life. And like, we finished The Wild Robot and they were like, oh my goodness, we have to read the next one. We have to find out what happens. So sweet. But Dina, try to be prepared, have some tricks up your sleeve, like to pull things out if you don't know, if you have nothing to do, like, I was thinking about something, but if you don't have access to the computer, it's tricky. Just see if you can read through the plans ahead of time. Always have a book that you can pull out and start reading. Give the kids share time because they're going to probably be talkative. So like, let them go around the room and tell them something about you if you have the time. Apparently that's what my substitute did when I was gone, but my kids love share time. So that's fine. I don't know. That's all I got right now because I don't have much experience with subbing, but also like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like ask the other teachers who are in the building, because usually they're all willing to help. Rosie said, any revision techniques? I don't know what you mean by that. Matthew, playing school is really fun. Yes, it is. Kenneth, can you please do a math video on math centers? I mean, a video. Yes, 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 because math is my favorite and I love how my centers have gone this year. So I will definitely do that in the near future. Maylene, home chef. That's a good one. Cami, my dream job is to teach, and so I like to watch you on YouTube. Yay! That's crazy because that like was my dream job my entire life. So if I was able to live the life of a teacher just by watching them, that would be so cool to me. Israel says, what advice would you give to somebody who wants to start up a channel? Oh, and actually someone asked me this on my Instagram questions as well. They were like, can you be a teacher coach if we want to be vloggers? Well, the truth is I've done YouTube since I was in high school. I used to be a beauty guru who didn't really know how to do makeup, but I tried. I've been debating for almost 2 years already, but the editing and the cringe of videoing yourself and all that unmotivates me. Okay, well, if you don't enjoy videoing yourself, that's going to be pretty difficult because that's what it is. And the editing, like, start simple. I've gotten into like a really easy flow of it because I've been doing it for so long where like I know keys on the keyboard and I can cut clips and delete things really fast. But I mean, start. I would say, and everybody says this, make a few videos, watch them back and pretend you are like your own viewer and see how much interest you have. And then don't actually post those videos, or if you really like them, you can. And like you can post them and see what happens too. And then just watch yourself and see what you can improve on and constantly try to do that. Like me, I know I can improve on touching my hair, but we are not having a good hair day. So also I'm live, so I can't cut it out. But you just got to pick up the camera and do it. And if it doesn't motivate you, then don't do it, because it should be something you enjoy and not something that is a challenge or just like a task. Like, it should be a hobby. Dina, do you have any interview tips for getting a teaching job? Okay. Yes, I think I do. And I think I should make a video. Because actually, and Maylene, I felt really empowered when I was having all these great ideas for her the other day. But you need to go in there like you know what you're talking about, even if you don't. And something I did actually right before I was interviewing was I read so many blogs about like different ways to organize math centers or Daily Five. And like, because YouTube wasn't really a thing when I was interviewing, like it was still pretty fresh. And that was only 3 years ago. And really have an idea of what you want your classroom to look like, because a lot of their questions will be like, oh, how are you going to do this? And how are you going to teach math? And what happens in this situation? And so have an idea of how you want your classroom to run and go and share it with them. And if they like it, that's great. And if they don't, it's not the school for you, because if that's what you want your classroom to be and they don't think that's a good thing, then that's their loss. As long as you're doing what's best for the kids. But yeah, like read up on different things that you don't really know about, or different techniques in the classroom, different behavior management techniques. Like, have your behavior management plan idea. Like, obviously that doesn't have to be the thing you're going to do, but they want to see that you are prepared. And if you could walk into the classroom the next day, like, what would you do? So have your ideal classroom in your mind from subject to subject. And also learn about the school a little bit, because have some questions for them at the end, because that's going to show them that you really care and that you're really interested in their school, because you're wondering about things there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Are you allowed to teach in every state you like? Tina, yes. However, when you move from state to state, there's different like certifications and tests you have to take. So like, to be able to bring my teaching license to another state, I would have to probably take different tests, or it depends on like how high your test scores were. I don't really know. But there's some things that you would have to like work out to be able to do that. But it's, if you go through with that stuff, then yes, you can. Okay. You guys are having this conversation in the chat. That's great. I love, this is why I love YouTube and Instagram, because everybody can interact with each other and we can collaborate together. And it's not just about me and you, it's about all of us being able to communicate, which is really cool. All right, I think I've answered everybody's questions on here. So I'm going to go back to my Instagram questions. Madison said, how do you deal with the pay of being a teacher? I love you. Thank you. I love you. You are probably so amazing. And we were actually talking about this in Miami. I think Kim Elementary and the Mittens specifically. But this is our first career. Most of us, when you become a teacher, like you've never had a career before that because you went to college to be a teacher. So this is the most money that I've ever earned. So like, I feel rich because this is the most money I've ever had. So I pay my bills, I save what I can, and I buy myself things every now and then because like you need to enjoy life and it's okay. So that's how I do it. I'm just going to leave the cap off so it doesn't have to squeak. Baylor, is it bad that I'm in 6th grade and I watch setting up my classroom? No, I wish I was able to do that because I would be so inspired and so excited and get so many cool ideas. Like, think about it. You're only in 6th grade and you have so many years before. I mean, if you even want to be a teacher, but you have so many years before you're actually there, you're going to have so much knowledge already built up before you even get into your education program, which is pretty cool. All right. My other question was from, oh, it's still on Instagram. One of my coworkers said, do we have to go to work tomorrow? Well, there's a freeze warning, so maybe we'll have a delay. But yes, I think we do. Lessons with Miss C said, how is it going with guided reading and writing? Well, I did 4 guided reading groups last week. So I met with one group twice. I met with 2 groups once, and then my other group who's doing the book study, I had my intern read with them and help them fill out their literature circle stuff. So it's going pretty good. We are almost done with our first, this is going to sound so bad, but in writing, we are almost done with our first piece that's actually been through the entire process, the entire writing process, and is going to be published, and I'm going to print it out for the kids. And it's so terrible that it's taken this long. But things got in the way, and I just know this is why I'm excited for next year, because I know how I'm going to start the year with teaching my kids how to write a sentence and a paragraph, because they're struggling with that right now. But either me or my intern have sat with every single child individually and have edited their paper with them and talked about their paper with them. And so I'm hoping that'll improve their writing. But so they've all finally almost published all their pieces. My goodness. Okay. So I'm going to scroll back through here to see what you guys were talking about. But if you have any questions, leave them in the chat. Dwight said to allow your students to read books based on what they're interested in. Absolutely. Don't do this is the basket you can pick from because it's your level. Ooh, middle school though is a very rough age for reading. Okay, well, here's the thing. Mirtha, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but do you read to your kids? Do you show them the books that you like? You should, I don't know if there's time for this in middle school, but if you can have a time where you can do a read aloud with them and expose them to the cool books that are out there, or do whole class book studies, I think that would be neat. I'm trying to think back to what I did in middle school. We read a lot on our own and did projects with it, I think. Yeah, I'm sure middle schoolers are not interested in reading. They need something to get them going. But I think if you expose them to things, that would be helpful. Okay. I teach third grade in South Carolina. This is Caroline. And writing is the hardest thing to teach. There are so many aspects to focus on, and each kid has such a variety of writing abilities. Yes, Caroline, this is so true. I was just watching Janice, what's her name? Janice Wan? Yeah. I was just watching her Daily 5 video. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. You should go watch it. And she talked about how her group lessons are just writing lessons now, and she teaches reading through guided reading and doesn't do a whole group reading lesson. And I just think about how much I love small group time, and if I could teach everything in a small group, I feel like it would just make so much more sense. So maybe I would try that with like writing next year when my kids have their first, because in North Carolina, we do their first initial writing for the year. There's a prompt and they have to write about it. So then from there, I can kind of group them based on their understandings of how to write. And then I could just teach small group. That's a great idea for the beginning of the year because you have all that time to be teaching certain things. So like that's when I can, my wheels are turning. You guys are totally not in my head though. So let me explain what I'm thinking. From their initial writing piece, I can see who needs help writing a sentence, who needs help writing a paragraph, who can move on from there. And that would be a good beginning of the year way to kind of even introduce small groups because you have to do that in some way. And that would be a good starting point and kick it off right away. That would be cool. Dwight said, what would you do with students who are having one of those bad emotional moments and also students whom are defiant, like non-compliant? I was actually watching one of my vlogs from last year that I privated because it was just a really rough day. And I realized that I haven't had any of those really rough days this year. But if it's to the point where me as the teacher, I can't control it, and the student, I can't just, like, I've already tried to like give them a moment to calm down. I would get another teacher who was around, and then 2, call the office so that they can come and handle it and remove that student. Because it just can't happen around other kids. And to be honest, it hasn't, knock on wood, happened. I have to find wood. It hasn't happened that much to me. It's very rare if that happens. And for defiance, if a child isn't going to do their work and you've worked with their parents and their parents don't care, and like I've had, how do I say this without giving too much information? I've tried to give my all to some kids, and then it takes away from the students who do want to work and need extra help. So sometimes you just gotta leave them be. Like there's not really much you can do in some situations. Joe Nash, hi from England. I want to start using anchor charts in my classroom. How often do you change your anchor charts? That's actually a pretty cool video to do. But I change them if I basically start a new unit or a new topic in the unit. And then if there's like 2 things we're working with, like basic fractions and then equivalent fractions, I'll keep them up side by side. I do more math anchor charts than anything, but it's all based on the units. And I feel like it's a really good visual for the kids. Allegra said, what do you do with students that have a higher reading level? I'm having them do a literature circle book study right now. So instead of reading a short guided reading book, they're reading a chapter book, and they get to discuss it together and create their own questions and things. So they're using their skills that they're learning, but doing something with it. Amber said, my middle school ELA teacher did read alouds and we loved it. Yep, that's the thing. You have to show your students that you love reading for them to even have some type of interest in it. Shahara says, love watching your videos, considering lateral entry teaching in North Carolina. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I always wonder with lateral entry teachers because, like, yes, you learn the most when you're in the classroom yourself, but like I would be so lost without all of my education classes. So good for you, Shara. How do you pronounce that? Tyron. I'm a junior in college and my major is education. Yes. So I have 2 questions. What's it like teaching 3rd grade reading? And is it better to teach reading in whole group or small group? Oh, I was just talking about that. I wonder if you were here then. But I think it's best to do both. Your whole group lesson should be the standard that you need to teach, the new skill that the kids are learning. You model it, they all need to do it, right? And then when you do small group, that's your guided reading. So that's when the reading is on those students' level and they can work on either skills that they are struggling with or furthering their understanding of that skill you just taught, but at the reading at their level. So it makes them easier to understand that new skill because they can understand the content they're reading if they don't always understand the grade level content they're learning. I hope that makes sense. You also said, what's it like teaching 3rd grade reading? It's tough, which is probably the same for any grade level, but like 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade specifically, I think is when you have your wide range of kids who are still learning how to read and kids who can read and can do whatever you give them to do. So with that wide range, I think it's tough because especially my class this year, like I have really great readers and they can all read, but they're still at different levels. So some can read a passage and be done with it in 5 minutes, whereas it takes another student who is a struggling reader 20 minutes to just read the passage. And I know there's ways to like differentiate it and things, but of course that takes more prep. And if I'm differentiating in other areas, it's like, what? I don't know. You can't do it everywhere, you know? So it's definitely tough, but it's fun because they're still interested in what you're like, even though I put a boring black and white passage in front of them, because sometimes that's all we have. If the story was called Space Food, they're like, oh my gosh. And then they start talking about all these things that they like can connect to it because they're so excited. So they're excited. And if you're excited, it's exciting. Caroline said, I've started creating digital writing lessons for my kiddos too, and I assign them based on what they need. I film a lesson and then the kids watch and complete a review activity with the skill. Caroline, I absolutely love that. I kind of used to do something not that great, but when I just taught math, I figured out what skills certain kids still needed help with, and each student had their own Google Doc, and I would tell them what skills they needed to work on in particular. But creating lessons and that is an awesome idea because, yeah, that's more time on the back end, but then on the front end, it saves you. And once you've created the lesson and the video, you can have it forever and use it over and over and over again. So that's actually a really great idea. Oh, and now we have someone from Poland. Guys, this is weird. I had someone from Germany and someone from Poland, and I am a mix of German and Polish. Hi. Dwight says, my biggest tip for teachers, if you teach a student based on their interest or what they see outside of the educational structure, you will have it made because they can't stop your activity. And that's true. It is about student interests. And I think my team does that the best we can, but there are days where you can't make every kid happy, and that's okay. Oh, that's good, Shahara. So you do have some work experience. Teach the students or have the students doing activities based on their interests or what they see out in the world to a point where they cannot stop you once you start teaching. You want them to be engaged. Yes. Rachel, hey, we haven't talked in a while. Since we don't have a set reading curriculum yet, next year is adoption year, what are some of your favorite reading resources or books to use? Well, Rachel, since I don't really plan reading, I do what I'm given. Since I'm still figuring out, I haven't explored, I wanted to do Rooted in Reading, Hope King and Amy Lemon's lessons, but that's a lot. We do, who is the author of Each Kindness? Jacqueline Woodson. We use a lot of Jacqueline Woodson's books. A lot of our lessons, we have a children's picture book, which I love so much. And we model the skill, and then they go and do it with a passage or the books that they're reading. But then we use a lot of the Ready book. We pull things from there, and I'm trying to think what other resources we use. I think a lot of it comes from the Ready book and then just regular picture books with graphic organizers and things. Rachel said, we did a novel study this year and it was amazing, but I hate using so many passages. I know they are necessary, but they are so boring. And I completely agree. When I was student teaching, actually, we did a novel study with Charlotte's Web, and it was towards the end of the year. So we made a packet for the kids of different outlines and questions. And it was basically a compilement, I don't even know if that's a word, of every skill they've learned that year. And they showed how they were doing it through reading. And I read the book to them. They each had their own copy and followed along. So that way they had the book to go back on to answer questions because it was above most of their reading level. And that was really fun. But it's hard when we don't necessarily have a curriculum to follow, especially when I feel like we need spelling and vocabulary and grammar. Cami says, what is your biggest tip for someone in 6th grade that wants to become a teacher? I think you're already doing it, girl. See what's out there. Find blogs that you love. Find teachers that you love. Find YouTube channels, Instagram, if you have that. I mean, I guess since you're in 6th grade, I don't know. My boyfriend and I talk about all the time, when are we going to let our kids have that stuff? But we don't have any kids yet. So I don't have to worry about that. But find teachers that you love and are inspired by and want to follow, and just expose yourself to what's out there. And I wish I had that. I'll keep saying it. that's so cool that you get to watch teacher vlogs and tips and tricks. And I mean, that's really all you can do. Obviously, work hard in school because that's important. But yeah. Leslie, what is your vision for your social media in connection to teachers and the teaching community? That's a cool question. And actually, when I was at the Impact Driven Teaching Conference, we talked a lot about that. Like, what is our purpose on social media? And honestly, it's like to share my ideas and to collaborate with others and get even better ideas that I can bring back to my classroom. Like, why do we need to keep everything for ourselves? We have this platform now where we can communicate. And like I learned in college that collaboration is the biggest thing that you can do. The best thing that you can do, learn from others. Like, it's just a place where we can constantly learn and grow and get new ideas. And so, I mean, I guess that's my vision, to collaborate and share my ideas. So I hope I'm doing an okay job of that. I know I haven't really filmed a video in a while about what exactly I'm doing in the classroom, but it's been a hectic year. They are coming. Rachel, we don't have the Ready books. We have the Act ones though. Yes, Rachel, we have those too, the Act Now books. We use those. I forgot about those. And we have the NC Ready book workbooks now for like the test prep ones. We use them at the end of the year. We started using them right now. Brianna, I remember last year's video where you showed and spoke on students poking holes in chairs, and I hope that has not been happening this year. No, my third graders have been so much more kind to all of my materials in the classroom. But also I think that comes with the age, and they understand my expectations because they're with me all day. I feel like when they're in fourth grade switching classes, they're just confused, especially the ones who are like struggling. They're just confused and they act out. So having my own kids makes a huge difference. Matthew, thank you. That's crazy to hear. And like, they told us this at the conference too. And like, I don't want to keep talking about well, like, why not? Right. And I actually missed this, but someone recorded it. I had to leave the gala because, I was having a major anxiety attack. So I went to sleep, but, one of the men who was in charge, he was talking to everyone when they were in a circle at the pajama party. And he was like, you guys don't realize how many people you are affecting every day. And it's true. Like, I don't realize. Like, there's 22 of you in here right now, but there was almost 30 of you at one point, and people are probably in and out. And the fact that I saw 2 of you waiting for my live to start, like, blew my mind. And the fact that like the things I'm saying actually mean something is wild. Like, I think they're important, but a lot of the times, like, I get caught up in like thinking things that I think in my head are just things that like I think, but they mean nothing to someone else, you know? So I love when we can interact and I can truly see that the ideas that we are sharing with each other have purpose and they're important and they're helpful. And yeah. How's the quality on here, by the way? Because this is my MacBook webcam, and I know like I can see myself really great. I did a few test runs, and I know I'm kind of fuzzy on your screen. I think the audio is good. So just let me know how it is. We're interacting great. Tyron, what are some tips you would give a third-year college student getting ready for student teaching? Okay. I'm so ecstatic and nervous about the journey. Yes, that is awesome. Just thinking back to my junior year, well, I hope you've had some like internships in the classroom at least. If you haven't, and if you can, definitely do. Like I said before, you're already a step ahead with all of these teacher YouTubers now. But I think my biggest tip would be, I don't know how your college works, but my college, we had a lot of projects and lesson planning and things. The grade range you're planning on teaching, like when you're creating those lessons, really come up with things that you would actually go and use in the classroom. Because why are you going to do a project that's going to mean nothing, you know? So everything that you have to create it with the idea in mind that you're going to use it one day. And also, if you haven't been in the classroom, like see if you have time for that and go like volunteer or just go to your local elementary schools and say that you want to observe and stuff. There's a bug on my wall. I don't have any tissues in here. Please hold. Oh. Okay, well, just destroyed the wall. Okay, sorry. I don't do bugs. Crowley, I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I don't speak much Polish, but my grandma always says figat smaken. I don't know what that means. She told me it means darn that fly. I think she's cursing in Polish, so I apologize if I just cursed in Polish. I didn't know. I'm a teacher and I work with children with special needs. It's very interesting to see how teachers work in different countries. And it's a good way to practice English. Yeah, that's so true. Like, that's also a cool thing, learning from other cultures or countries, because I feel like there was really no way to do that before social media. Thank you, Laura. I'm glad the quality is up to your standards. Rachel says, are most people at your school aware of your social media presence? Well, let's see. A bunch of my students found me last year. So like the 4th and 5th grader students knew. And then my whole 4th grade team knew. And then a lot of the kids are teachers' kids. So they told their parents, and other teachers in my school know. And now my whole 3rd grade team knows. I'm sorry, I just have hair everywhere all the time. So yes, I'm pretty sure they have an idea. I honestly have no idea about my principal. And we talk about this at the conference as well, like whether we told our admin or what. But I mean, I personally like haven't gone up to them and say, hey, I make YouTube videos about teaching and I have an Instagram. Like, I feel like it's kind of my personal thing. Like, even though I'm putting myself out there, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not sharing anything I shouldn't be sharing. So like, I don't see why I would have to let them know. But like everybody knows. So I feel like if it was some kind of issue, if that was the case, I would be aware of it by now. Amber says, how much longer do you feel like, I feel like my sister's here. How much longer do you feel like you will be in the classroom? I teach in North Carolina also and feel like we aren't appreciated, planning time, duty-free lunch, pay, etc. Well, yeah, it's wild. I definitely want to be in the classroom for a while though. I used to say I wanted it my whole life, but I could see myself being like a lead teacher one day. But yes, Rachel agrees we're not appreciated. Are you guys going to Raleigh on May 2nd or whatever the date is? Is it another rally? I'm assuming. I've only heard a little bit about it so far. But I definitely want to stay in the classroom. I will probably teach in another county soon. I don't know when that would be, but when my boyfriend and I buy a house, the area we're planning on moving is farther away from my school now. So, but I love the classroom. And if you're at a school, like planning time, maybe I'll care more about it when I have my own kids, you know? But like the way my team plans, we get it done too. So I don't know. Duty-free lunch. Right now, my team actually, we switch on and off each day. So I get duty-free every other day. And pay. If I don't get paid for my master's soon, I may move to a charter school or something. Because that's just not right. Amber says, yes, I was talking with my team teachers about it last week. Our 4th graders are going to Raleigh that day. Wait, Rachel, that's so crazy. It's their field trip to Raleigh when the rally, that's going to be wild. And Rachel says it will be so different when you have kids. That's why I'm trying to, I've changed my mindset completely this year. When I'm at home, I don't like to do school things. Like I like to get it done at school. Or like now my boyfriend works on Sundays at a golf course. So I think about school when he's gone because like I want to spend time with him and I don't want to always think about school. And I feel like if I don't do that now, I'll be set myself up for disaster later, you know? Yes, Rachel, I'm pretty sure it's May 2nd. I think that's what people were saying. Keep hope alive, y'all. The race does not go to the swift nor the strong, but to those who endure. That is right. We got to keep fighting for what we deserve. I think Mary Ellie said they just got a huge raise in Florida. Well, I've been on here for an hour, but I mean, I have nothing else to do. So since there's still 20 of you here, we can keep talking if you want. What else can we talk about? Thanks for the 6 thumbs up, guys. If you've been with me through this whole thing, that's wild. Give the video a thumbs up. All right, I have some. Oh my gosh. Maylene. She has both. Oh, you're not going to be able to see this, but me and CJ Reynolds. I forgot he does Sunday lives. I thought that said currently editing my steak, so I'm glad you're eating it. Yes, I was a member of Kappa Delta Pi. I felt so cool when I got this sweatshirt because I pretended like I was in a sorority. This was just the education organization. I don't even know what it was called. I'm sorry. But yes, I was a member. And the back of it, I don't know what this one says actually. Oh, it's teaching the profession that creates all other professions or something like that. I can't turn around because my headphones. Yes. That creates all over other professions. That's what it says. Leslie, since you are sharing planning with your team, do you feel like you are getting a better understanding of reading and language standards? No, and that's also something that we talked about at the beginning of this year. However, I think I didn't understand it this year because it was my first year teaching. So, like, as I was going through things, some things didn't make sense to me. And then, like, wow, 10 thumbs up. Thank you guys. I'm sorry. I'm like slightly ADD. But that means a lot of you were here this whole time. That is wild. So anyway, reading. Let me get my thoughts together. As I was teaching, I don't think I understood things. But now that I've been through it and taught it, I feel like I know what I'm supposed to teach kids next year. So like over the summer, I plan to really focus on like what they need to grasp and learn. I feel like reading's not that challenging though, because it's just the different ways to comprehend. I lost my pillow. It's just the different ways to comprehend text and the different things that they can see. Our language standards, unfortunately, we don't touch that much on. Y'all, I'm like out of water. My goodness. And my boyfriend's mother texted me, so hang on. Hold on. Okay. Leslie, I hope that kind of answered your question. I know my mind wanders and I've been talking for a long time, but it's really cool. I really like this, guys. Brianna, you and Maylene look so beautiful in Miami that I thought I was looking at Charlie's Angels. Dwight, we felt like Charlie's Angels. Like, my goodness, that was an amazing experience. I've never been like at the beach with the last time I was at the beach with like a bunch of my girlfriends, I was in high school. So that was really fun and everybody looked beautiful. So thank you. Nicole, what advice do you give to someone who wants to go into teaching? Also, I will be finished with my associates in May. Do you prefer online school or in school? Okay. Online school for those classes that like don't really matter, or those classes where you don't need to experience something to be able to understand it. However, in-school programs most definitely trump everything because I'm sorry, I should not look at my phone. In-school programs trump everything because you're with people. You're collaborating face to face, which is so important. You can hear other people's ideas and see their ideas come to life right away. And what advice do I give to someone who wants to go into teaching? Take every opportunity you get and take your class projects seriously. I created a substitute binder in one of my classes, and I should find it because I don't use it in my classroom and I should. But advice, I feel like everybody says this, but like get as much experience in the classroom as you can. If your school is not giving you internships, then you go out and find the time to volunteer in schools or just go to a school and see if you can observe, because that's being in the classroom is going to be the best thing for you. This is not a curse. I don't know how to translate it. Maybe next time. I wish you all a nice week. Good night. Well, I'm glad I wasn't cursing in Polish. Good night. Thank you for coming. Rachel says reading is hard because there isn't enough time to get in all of the standards. Yes. I agree, Rachel. I think, like, I've been thinking a lot about reading and writing and the time I have. And I feel like if it was a bigger chunk of my day, it would make more sense. But I don't have writing until the very end of the day, and I have reading in the morning. So since it's separate, those ideas are constantly separate. So yes, it is tough. Maylene, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Bring a carafe, help me out, please. First grade teacher, I don't know how to sound out this word. Of water to your live next time. Pro tip. You've never mentioned that before. Carafe. I thought I took like most of your tips, Maylene, but you never told me about the water thing. Leslie said something that non-teachers don't understand is it is not just teaching a standard, it's building background and referring back to previous standards. Yes, which I feel like my grade level does such a good job of, like constantly reviewing skills that we've taught. We use them again and again and again. So the kids like are reminded and they're like, oh, I know about this, but like they see how much easier it is now that they've done it so much. But yeah, it's really important. Like we taught cause and effect and character traits and sequencing months ago. However, we're talking about them again now and how you will see them both work together and how understanding those things helps you understand what you're reading and the connections between sentences and paragraphs and stuff is what we're working on now. Nicole, I'm so happy this was helpful. Like, that makes me so excited. I'm having so much fun. Rachel, things are always getting cut for us. It's most often grammar. Absolutely. I'm going to figure out a way this summer, now that I know how third grade works. And Rachel, you could do this with me, but now that I have a better understanding of what it entails, I want to find a way, because I tried to do grammar at the beginning of the year. It fell short, but I really want to try to find a way to make it happen, at least more than I did this year. Sorry, I'm painting my nail. Okay. Side note. You're going to tell some of my nail. Actually, you probably can't really see. But I got SNS for the first time because everyone raved about it and said it's so much better than gel. You have to get SNS, which is like the dip in the powder, and then it like dries. However, the nails are like coming up and my hair is getting caught under the nail. So I had to pop a few off because they were really bothering me. I'm sorry. I should have brought those tissues in here. Yes, Rachel, let's tackle it this summer. I'm excited because now I know what the whole year of third grade looks like. I only got a glimpse when I student taught in third grade. I love grammar too, Leslie. It is one of my favorites too. And when I went to school in New Jersey, I was born and raised there. And we had like 5 minutes of daily grammar where like Monday we would have to label the sentence. Tuesday we would have to correct it. Wednesday we would have to, I don't know, we had to do each thing, label the subject and predicate, all that stuff. I feel like kids struggle so much with writing because they don't understand that a sentence needs a subject and a predicate. Brianna, what's your plan for the end of the year in your classroom? Well, we have EOGs at the end of May. So it's like prep time right now. We have our benchmarks this week, so I'm reviewing with my kids. Actually, the rest of the year, I feel like isn't going to be too bad because I've conquered all of the difficult standards in third grade. Well, we're still working on two-step word problems, but you're going to constantly be working on that. But I basically taught everything. The only thing we haven't taught, at least in math, is we just started measurement on Friday. So that's going to go into weight and capacity as well. And then we have to teach time. And that's it. So that's for math. Science, we're teaching soil and plants and force and motion. Social studies, we have economics, but we're doing that after state testing. Leslie, I feel like you've told me before to use mentor sentences. And we've had these conversations before about how I can incorporate grammar. And I try. I need to be more meticulous about it next year and like go into what I'm reading that day to my kids or what we're reading together and then work on a sentence from what we're reading. I think that's what you say you do. Okay. See, Maylene, I made all the labels. Like I have all the little circles from, who did it? A fifth grade teacher, I think. Hello Fifth, maybe? Her grammar wall thing. I prepped all that. Never used it. But I want to. But maybe if I make a wall of it, it will actually work. Okay, look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but this nail looks just like my others, and I painted it. Perfect. Yes, Eileen, we will hold each other accountable, and we will do it together. That's a fantastic idea. And that's also why I love social media, because we can hold each other accountable. I tried to start a healthy lifestyle, holding people accountable challenge, but it didn't really work out. However, I am down 3 pounds. So that's exciting. Next year when I design my classroom and I'm like, hey, what else do I say I wanted? Maylene, I'll try to remember. I will do my best to help you out. A year's worth of mentor sentences, Rachel? Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm all about like transitions. And I love how math starts with number talks, or is supposed to, because I haven't been very good about that this year either. But my original goal was to start writing every day with grammar and do the mentor sentence before we did our writing lesson, because it's like the little mini get your brain working before we start to do something else. So I feel like it could fit in. Like if we plan it the right way, like I feel like it could work. And you're right, Leslie. I think people do make it harder than it. Like, that's the thing. Doing it from the first day of school or like the beginning of the year, when you're like setting expectations in place, I feel like if you start from then you will actually be able to, it would be so much easier. Because if you start with the sentence and you use that sentence for the whole week, and you do one thing with it on Monday, one thing with it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it'll start repeating. The kids will get into the zone. So it won't take as long to be able to go through it, because you'll set that procedure in place from the beginning. So it would be like a quick little transition thing. We pull our mentor sentences from a text. We are reading that week, so I wouldn't like pre-made ones personally. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, like pulling a sentence from what you're already working on so it connects and relates, because the day goes the best when you can connect subjects and integrate them. And you don't necessarily even have to integrate them because, yeah, I was taught that way, but like things need to be separate. And in order for them to be separate, or in order for the day to run smoothly, like I talk about cause and effect in math, or just like one thing we learn in one subject, we connect it to something else. Something we were doing in science connected to reading or something. Like, it's amazing when it all connects. Yep, maybe 5 minutes. That is my goal for next year. You know, instead of doing a PDP, we should do like, because I feel like my PDP is not, I don't know. You all don't have PDPs probably, so you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. We touched on nouns and verbs and adjectives, but my kids are still so confused. And it's really sad. I'm like, okay, circle the adjectives. Couldn't circle the adjectives. It's frustrating, but that's that. Oh, I'm so happy with my nails. They look so much better, and it doesn't even look like they fell off. Well, Maylene, maybe we should do a like class video chat call to each other, and your first graders can teach my third graders about adjectives, because some of them just do not get it. That would be cool though. All right. I think I might be coming to the end, guys. I need some water, and I roasted some. All right, Maylene, we can talk about this later. We can make it happen. But I roasted chickpeas earlier. Oh my goodness, I have never made them so good. Like, they're actually like crunchy. And I really want to eat them. However, I made 2 cans and like they're already halfway gone. It's frustrating because they take so long to make. Thank you, Tina. You guys have inspired me. I'm going to make a weekly vlog this week because it's been a while. However, it's going to be difficult because I have robotics like every single day, but we'll make it happen. Yes. Thank you all for coming. This was like so cool and so much more interactive than I thought it was going to be. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you all have a great night. If you're on spring break, you are so lucky. I'm hanging on until Easter. But thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys mean the world to me. Oh, Jessica, you can go back and watch it. I'll figure out how to save it and post it so that you can see the whole thing. It was fun. I'm sorry you missed it. Spent an hour and a half. This was so successful. Thank you guys. Thank you for making this happen. It's because of you. All right. Well, I will put a poll up and see when you guys want me to do my next one, because this was awesome. So thank you, Dwight. You're the best. You comment on everything. It's 6:30, Maylene. I think I'm an hour ahead of you. So I'm going to go. I'm going to take some more Sudafed so I can be prepared to go teach tomorrow. So I don't want to hang up. It's like, I don't want to leave you. All right. Everybody say your final goodbye. We can chat every other place. I love you all. You're amazing. Go inspire your kids tomorrow. If you're still a kid, keep being inspired. Have a good night. Bye.